This week on the Digital Coffee, new features for community posts on YouTube. Twitter ads are getting an upgrade, but who's using them? And you can now send a message to yourself on WhatsApp. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for your business. My name is Amanda Webb. I am an ROI mentor and trainer and consultant. That means that I help businesses just like yours get more profit, more money from the time, the energy, and the cash that they invest in their online marketing. And before we get into today's show, hello, by the way, I can see there's a bunch of you watching already. Firstly, I'd love to know what you've got in your cup. What are you drinking as you watch this show? I have just finished a cup of tea. I shall be having a cup of coffee as soon as the show finishes. Also, if you are interested in learning more about the new Google Analytics 4 program, I am now offering one-to-one training for that. So if you've got a phone on you, you can scan this QR code and that will bring you directly to the page where I talk about the GA4 training. It's one-to-one, so it's personalized especially for you. It's going to help you make sense of it. It's going to show you where you should be spending your marketing budget in 2023. So, end of advert. I can see we have over on YouTube, we have got Deirdre. Good morning, Deirdre. Great to see you. What are you drinking this morning? Have you got anything in your mug? And a good morning to Mark from Pocket Video School. What have you got in your mug today? I'd love to know. Now, it's a bit tough to find news at the moment. It's almost like all the other social networks are on a blackout, because they don't want to, they're all sitting there with their popcorn too, watching what Elon Musk is doing on Twitter. But that doesn't mean I haven't got stories for you. Actually, I've probably found more interesting stories than we'd normally cover. Good morning to Pat. Great. No drinks this morning yet. Too many parcels to pack. Oh, very good. Somebody's thinking Christmas. And good morning to Kate, who's drinking tea. So I interrupted myself there stupidly, but that is why we may have some different and unusual stories on this week's show. There's a few big ones though. Let's start with one of those.
I'm Louise Brogan, host of LinkedIn with Louise, and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
For a long time, Google has wanted to have a social network. Some of you may remember Google Buzz. Some of you will definitely remember Google Plus, which was there for a few years. It was almost like a Facebook. It was too similar perhaps to Facebook. They've never really succeeded. But it looks like they may be trying to actually put more social networking to their existing tools. We know that they did some upgrades on Google My Business, which makes them more interactive and community based. And now we're seeing upgrades to community posts on YouTube. Now, community posts aren't new. Where you'll find them is if you're on mobile, you'll see there is a subscriptions tab, and you will not just see videos from the people you're subscribed to there, you will also see these community posts. And most of the ones I see are either images, kind of a square version of the thumbnail, which is just kind of promoting the latest video they've put up, but also you could run polls. So it is a really good way to engage with your audience, maybe find out more about what they wanted. But now it's getting some upgrades. 2 upgrades have recently been announced. The first one, I've got something that's coming up here. The first one is that you'll be able to add stickers and text to your image posts that you post within community posts, which makes them all a little bit more Instagrammy. I think that's very similar to Instagram posts. It also makes them a little bit more fun, a little bit more social, a little bit less polished. So maybe that's something that YouTube is going for. That's the first one. The second one is the biggie for me anyway, and we don't have a screenshot of this yet, but it's quizzes. So as I mentioned, they've already got polls there. Polls are there in my community feed, but now you're going to have quizzes. They've just announced it. They've just said it's rolling out to select users. They haven't shown us what it will look like, and I'm not seeing them in my community feed yet when I'm seeing the posts from the creators I follow. But I love this idea because I think If it works out to be similar to the quiz sticker on Instagram, that could be genius. I love those. I love the way that you can have a bit of fun with your audience. It's a little bit more engagement beyond just a poll. It's a good way just to kind of like create a bit of buzz, be memorable. All of those things. I think this is a positive update. But in general, by adding features like this to the community, is it going to make that tab, that subscriptions tab, more engaging and more interesting to people, and in the end become that social network that Google has never succeeded in having? Mark says he has no drink. Oh, you poor people, but you did have a coffee just beforehand, so you're not terribly thirsty, which is good to know. I do have a question of the week, but I've totally forgotten what it is, so I have to read on my screen. Here's a question. If you use Twitter, so give me a wave or something if you use Twitter, how long do you think a tweet should be? Remember, it used to be 140 characters, then it was 280. Is that enough? Is it too many? I'd love to know what you think about that.
Hello, this is Simon Hodgkins, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Twitter may be changing and being weird and odd and bizarre right at the moment, but they still want your ad dollars. Part of me surprises me that they've even got a team that has been able to launch this, but they have. Twitter ads have got an upgrade. Now, I would say there is revenue to be got from Twitter ads, because in the past I haven't been a particularly big fan of Twitter ads. I haven't seen them necessarily deliver what I would expect them to. And that's maybe because they weren't as nuanced as things like Facebook/Meta ads are. And it does surprise me that they've managed to launch this so quickly, but I do think this upgrade is a good one. So, new things for ads. Number one, they're changing the way that conversions work. So when you set up an ad, you can set it up so it's optimized for conversions, which means people should, or that you're measuring conversions is what it really was on Twitter before, so that you can see if people have bought something or made an inquiry or downloaded a lead magnet, something along those lines. But as I said, it wasn't optimized to show it to people who are most likely to convert, which is what you actually get with a Meta ad. They know their audience so well, they know the actions that they take, so that you are able to optimize your ad for that purpose. Now you're able to do that on Twitter. It is a little bit late, Twitter, because we know, there's been privacy updates that stop you seeing what happens on somebody's website once they click, but that doesn't affect everyone just yet. And I do think that's a very positive update. The other one is, again, mimicking Facebook Meta ads. And in fairness, I think that's the right way to go, because if somebody is going to test Twitter ads after using something like Meta, they want it to seem familiar. They want them to feel like they're in the same place, that it works the same way. So the second thing is a design of ad element. And that is, I was just looking, I was supposed to flash something on screen, but I'm going to do it. There you go. That's the new layout for your optimization. So the new layout, or the new creative elements, are also similar to Meta, which are collections, which when you see those on Meta, that's where you have one big ad and then lots of little boxes below showing you different products, and dynamic creative, which is basically either dependent on your catalog, if you're a shop, that you'll be able to bring in things that are actually on sale right now rather than things that are out of stock. But also, if you upload a number of different images, it will be able to select from those images the ones that are most likely to work for individual people. It all sounds amazing. But firstly, does anyone want to advertise on Twitter right now? That's a big question. And secondly, I've forgotten what my secondly is. Secondly, it's a big move over from another social network to try a different social network. I think it can work if it works well, if they've got enough data. According to Twitter themselves, you will get a 25% cheaper conversion rate using the new conversions objection. So it sounds good, but will it actually work? Do they have the engineers to fulfill it? That's what I wonder. I don't know how small their staff is, but I think they must be down to like 10 people. Exaggerating, obviously, 10 people by now, the number of people they've laid off. So it's an interesting one. Would you try ads? Would you try ads on Twitter right now with everything that's happening? you know what? I might.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Jeremiah J-Man Monero with J-Man Speaks from New York, and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Make it a great day.
We have thoughts at the weirdest times, like really good thoughts, right? We do have those thoughts that wake us up in the middle of the night and we think are amazing. Sometimes they're not amazing at all as we look at them in the light of day. But there's other times, always the inconvenient times, right? So it's when we're in the shower, when we're going for a walk to chill out, when we're just finished the day and we're sitting down with a cup of coffee in front of the telly, ready to watch EastEnders. That is when we get our thoughts. And when we get those thoughts, we want to record them. So our brain goes into overdrive and just says it to us over and over again. Don't forget that. Don't forget. Of course, if you don't write it down, you will totally forget it. Driving a car, that's another one. I'm not sure this solution's going to work for that. So either we carry a notebook around with us everywhere, which, you know, that's good practice. But who has that in the shower? Like, really? But one thing we do tend to have at least nearby everywhere we go is our phone. So what do? We tend to send emails to ourselves or messages to ourselves or use the notes application to store the idea there. WhatsApp have a better solution. WhatsApp are launching a tool where you will be able to message yourself. So there is a roundabout way that you can already do this, but this will be official. You'll be able to go in to start a conversation and actually choose yourself. It'll have your name, Amanda Webb, and then you in brackets. And you can send yourself a message, pick it up later. You can pick it up on your desktop app and action it. I think this is fabulous. Of course, I don't have it yet. But I do think this is a really good feature and one that I'll definitely use. And I probably use it more than sending myself an email, which seems a lot more hassle than just opening WhatsApp. I think it's brilliant. Will you use it? Katie says that was me in the middle of the night. Yeah, that happens, right? You wake up in the middle of the night and that's terrible because you wake up, you have a fantastic idea. You're not going to go back to sleep because you're trying to remember it. You're saying it over. I mustn't forget that in the morning. So, you know, one thing that people recommend is to have a notebook by your bed, which if you don't have your phone by your bed is probably the best solution. Because otherwise you'll never get back to sleep, right? Because you don't want to lose that amazing idea that you've had. Totally see how this could work on WhatsApp. But of course, people recommend you don't have your phone by your bed. So in that case, you're just going to have to go back to the notebook.
I'm Esther.
And I'm Melanie.
From the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast.
And you're watching the Digital Coffee
with Amanda Webb.
Tell me this, is TikTok on your list of things to investigate a little bit more in 2023 for your business? If so, you're going to be really happy with this new upgraded TikTok partner platform. I knew it. Marketing TikTok platform. They call it a platform. Actually, it's just a mini website. And basically, this is provided by TikTok that gives you everything that you need to be able to create ads. So it's got things like digital agencies. It's got tools that you can use for your creatives. It's got things like e-commerce integration. So WooCommerce is in there if you're looking to build that. Basically, if you want to run an ad on TikTok, you can go here and find all the pieces that you need to put it together. Which is super smart from TikTok's point of view, isn't it? Because there could be lots of things that are, one, stopping you running ads on TikTok, and two, meaning that your ads aren't successful. And by giving us this partner platform, they have the resources that can solve all these. Now, some of these are premium. They're going to be for larger companies. They're not going to be for us. So there's agencies and tools out there. One tool I was looking at looked amazing, but it was going to be $1,000 a month. So that's obviously aimed higher, a higher level of advertiser than us as small and medium-sized businesses. But some of them, like WooCommerce, are completely accessible to us all. I think this is genius. I think, if TikTok is on your agenda, you do need to look at the commercial side and all the pieces will slot together in order to convert people that you engage on TikTok, whether it's paid or organic, into customers. Good move, TikTok. I would give them the big thumbs up if I still carried that. I just need to look at my buttons. Did I miss some? I think I missed someone, but we won't worry about that too much.
Hello, this is Nicole from Wonderstars, and you are watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
What life events do people share the most on social media? If we knew that, and if we market to, the wedding industry, for example, we're in weddings, if we market weddings or, funerals or divorce, or I'm mentioning these because these come up. Apparently, on Instagram, people talk about weddings and babies loads. So if you're marketing for weddings and babies, Instagram is the place to go. On TikTok, it's divorce. So yes, if you're a divorce lawyer or you help people with divorces or becoming that mighty person that you can be after divorces, TikTok is the place to be. How do I know? There was a survey done by confused.com. They analysed posts on both TikTok and on Instagram based on hashtags. So, it's not always, the content isn't always going to be 100% accurate, and we're going to have a lot of commercial messaging in there as well. So yes, on Instagram, we're all happy, mostly happy. Mostly weddings, mostly babies, engagement, all those sort of things, gender reveal, all that. Instagram. TikTok, little bit more negative. Yes, little bit. We've got divorce, as I mentioned, breakups, death and funerals. Now, death does appear on Instagram as well, but way lower down the list. How weird is that? Is it because, in Instagram, we're living in this lovely land where everything's okay, and on TikTok, we're being a little bit more honest and authentic? I don't know, but it's fascinating. So if you're marketing to one of those areas, definitely worth maybe not relying on that information 100%, because like I said, based on hashtags, could be just all the commercial people advertising into those areas, but definitely worth having a look at those posts. Yes, it is so fascinating, isn't it, Katie? Definitely. She's also saying she's late for the show because she had a really good idea last night. I'll let you off. I'll let you off. I'll let you off. Okay. I'm very confused with my button pressing. Will we just press this one and see what happens? I think we should.
Hi, Sasha Lydia from Think Outside the Bot, and you're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
WhatsApp just launched polls within the app. When I originally researched this story on Wednesday, it was just getting rolled out to desktop clients. So if you downloaded the app on your computer, it would work. But this morning, I discovered it's working on mobile. Why am I excited about this? Why do I find this interesting? Well, polls are an absolutely amazing way to get quick engagement from your audience. People who may never leave a comment, may not click a reaction button, will often vote in a poll. Your lurkers, as May King would call them, often vote in a poll. It's also, I've been using them on LinkedIn recently to do some research about different products. Did I mention I've got a Google Analytics course? Yeah. To do some research into, the way people want courses delivered, whether they use Slack, that sort of stuff. Really good for research. And we have them on LinkedIn. We have them on Instagram. They're huge in Instagram stories. A really good way to engage your audience. So I am excited to see them there. And I do think this is a whole part of WhatsApp wanting to be at the heart of communities. So you will build your community there and you'll be able to use polls to survey people. I tried it this morning. In fairness, it was in a group full of people that are really interested in this sort of thing. And it works really well. You can have up to 12 options. I do have a screenshot. Oh, that's not it. Giving away a secret there. I do have a screenshot. There it is. You can add up to 12 options and people within the group are able to vote. So a little bit overexcited about this, but I do think it's a good thing. I do.
This is Making Sang, first name Making, from the FOMO Creator, and you have been watching the Digital Coffee Show with Amanda Webb.
Is 280 characters enough for Twitter? I remember when they went from 140 to 280 characters, I was absolutely raving. 140 characters is enough. It's lovely and short and sweet. I made a very long video of me in various, I was on holiday in New York when it happened, in various places in New York, screaming at the idea that they would change the number of characters from 140 to 280. I was so wrong. 280 characters on Twitter is great. And in the past, when Jack Dorsey used to be in charge, he said he wanted to expand that. And I am seeing an awful lot of threads on Twitter right now. So it kind of tells me that people do want to write more than 280 characters. I'm not sure I'm ready to see a whole essay in my feed, but if it was truncated, a bit like a thread, I think I'd be in favour of that, actually. Having thrown the toys out of the pram over our 280 characters, I'm now into the idea of expanding. But how many characters should it be? And why am I even talking about this? Well, it is being rumoured in tweets, of which Elon Musk has replied to, that they could be extending the number of Twitter characters to 1,000. Now, I'm sure this is going to be marred in controversy like everything that Elon Musk does. It's not definite. It is just a few tweets. But could it work? I actually think, yes, it could, depending on how it displays in the feed. I can see we've got I'm going to need my glasses. We've got a long comment here from Deirdre. Sending self WhatsApp used to feature in WhatsApp. I used it a lot and it was easier to include images. So Meta WhatsApp is bringing back an old feature. I didn't know that. We'll reactivate old inspirations. I didn't know, because I was a late adopter for WhatsApp. Never really been a fan. Kind of getting into it a bit now. Yeah. I guess I was just like, when they don't need another messaging app. So I never saw that, but that's interesting. I think it is a really good feature, because sometimes I will email myself. Sometimes I'll send myself a Twitter direct message, but that's awful hassle. Whereas I could quite easily click into WhatsApp, just open up the conversation with myself and add stuff. And yes, you can add photographs to it. You will be able to do that. So, and you'll be able to add all sorts of things. So that will be really useful, I think. Really useful. I feel like these days, when I finish the show, I think, what did I miss? I think I've read them all. That is all for this week. That is the end of the show. Thank you for joining me. I will be back, same bat time, same bat place next week. And maybe we'll have some news that is proper news, that hasn't just been obliterated by what's happening on Twitter. Until then, same bat time, same bat place next week.